Hello, everyone, YouTube's vinyl community friends. Back again with another Vinyl Finds. Had a really fantastic day, and was texting you all day at work today.
All day, torturing me, saying, "Guess what I got you?
Yep.
Guess what I got you?"
So, kind of a couple things that are going on. I had to, when you're blanking your records,
as we do,
as we do every so often, you find when you're touching every single record, and you have to, I'm looking at the inside, taking a look and seeing, you find out some of the records you have are just floating around. So I had to go and I bought a bunch of these.
Ooh.
I can make a flip book out of it. Of course, the inner paper sleeves. So I had to go to one record store that I enjoy frequenting. Because they usually have some pretty good scores. It really gives you the ability. It's a true record dig. You're seriously going in there, dust blowing up in your face, and your hands are just filthy coming out of there. But you find some really good stuff. So, wanted to show some stuff that I had picked up. You have one record that I got there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, if you want to take that out of the plastic, that'd be awesome. First, I got an upgrade copy of this. I've had this album forever, and I know some of you have probably seen my 30-day challenge where I talk about how awesome this is. Probably my favorite Dylan record of all time. And our copy has some skips in it, just heavily played. And this one was just pristine. It was like, you can definitely see the grooves. And I came across one yesterday, 2 days ago. Even 3 days ago, I can't remember, that I was going to buy, and then I pulled it out and I looked at the record, and it was seriously, you couldn't even feel the grooves in it. It was so worn down. So excited to find that. Nice upgrade for that. So I also found this. So some of you guys that are big into John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, this might be something you want to check out. This band is called the Coliseum. I'm trying to think of the guys' names, but I can't think of offhand. Dick Hextall Smith, there it is. Dick Hextall Smith, he basically plays tenor and soprano sax, and then there was one other guy, I forget what his name was, John Heisman, who he played the drums. If you ever see John Mayall's Bare Wires, which was the last album they did with Mick Taylor, these guys are basically all over the album, and I think they went on and then formed Coliseum. I want to say, I think they kind of came out maybe around 1969, 1970. But the name of this album is Those Who Are About to Die Salute You. So nothing that has anything to do with the AC/DC thing, but definitely check this out. Band's called Coliseum, just real awesome kind of blues rock, kind of just great stuff, just fantastic stuff. I was really excited to find that. We'll show the next one.
This is, I can't really, it's very dark. This is Jet's sophomore album, Shine On.
We're kind of Sam and I were talking the other day, and we're kind of going back, and all those albums we had on CD that, you may think, you may say, hey, that's not a good album. Why are they listening to that? But just kind of stuff that we've fallen in love with over the time. And
yeah, I really liked Jet when they were first around.
Their
first album was really great.
I think that they just it wasn't favorable. It's kind of one of those things, unfortunately, that the way that the press, they spin things, and, they just kind of put too much emphasis on the band. And, the sophomore album's always kind of they talk about the sophomore jinx. So it's cool. Definitely cool to find that one. Do you have anything else you want to say about it? Nope. And then kind of one of the last ones from that record shop, was this one, and as you know, I guess I'm slowly becoming the word on American folk music. Jeff Recordman gave me a shout out in one of his last videos where he's talking about British folk, Celtic music and whatnot. But I found this and I was gonna put it back, and I listened to its 5 albums. It was $15. And the more I started reading there wasn't a book or anything like this. There's just all these liner notes in the back. The more I looked into it, and the more I read into it, it was from 1956 was when they recorded this, sort of as a field recording. Just kind of went down to an area of Beach Creek, North Carolina, which I was like, Beach Creek, North Carolina? I've heard a lot about Beach Creek, North Carolina recently. And hold this for 1 second.
Yeah. 5 record set. This is going to be really great.
Well, I don't know what I did with it. Somewhere.
What are you looking for? I know what you're looking for.
You know exactly.
He found it.
Of course. This gentleman is from Beach Creek, North Carolina. And he actually plays harmonica on a couple of the tracks, so and sings. So as soon as I read that, Richard Chase, and if you didn't see by the title, but this is on the Folk Legacy, so it's almost like that sort of that. As soon as I saw that, I was
already did a video on that one.
Yeah, that was the very first one that I did. So I'm gonna have a lot more time here on my hands, so probably we'll see some stuff get finished tonight. Blake also wanted me to give him some measurements on some 7-inch sleeves, so getting there.
I've never heard of a lot of these songs.
Well, no, there's a lot of like standards on there, like Railroad Bill, Cripple Creek.
Well, I mean, there's some new.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
not new.
Skip to My Lou.
Ooh.
There's a lot of the standard,
There's Carolyn Hester.
Yeah, exactly. There's all this like very, very traditional folk, the folk standards, if you will. So, really excited about that. So, the next stop after I had some lunch, there's a record store in Pittsburgh, and it's kind of a sad state of affairs. I think a little bit. They're kind of changing hands. The store had been in business for I think about almost like 30 years now, or something like that. I want to say since like the late 70s, early 80s, and pretty much they. When I would come to Pittsburgh, they just have just an amazing selection of music from just
finely curated.
Yeah, like
it's all good stuff.
Yeah, but just like it was a place I kind of discovered Can and all that stuff that's like like the psychedelic world stuff. Sun Ra, that record store was the one that it was the place where you could kind of go, if you had some extra money in your pocket, and we're just like you go up to the guys and you're like, tell me about this artist, and then they'll be like, buy this CD, buy this CD, buy this CD. But most of it was CDs. They do have a small selection of vinyl, and it had been kind of growing over like the last couple of years, which was really cool. So they had a lot more, and it was like if you wanted, I guess what you would refer to as mainstream or indie. That was more so on the indie side, I would say. You'll see with some of the stuff we're going to show. But long story short, the record store's changing hands. So one of the guys that works there's only about 5 guys that work there, and the one guy's taking it over, and the other guys aren't staying on. So it's kind of sad in a way, but everything is 30% off. They've been doing like a progressive sale. I don't know if it's going to go any lower than that from what I was, from some of the stuff I was hearing in there today. But nonetheless, I got
Show your stack.
Got a mound of records, so so just cool stuff. And this is where this is where I pull the tablecloth out of the table. So I know a lot of people think that I listen to a lot of 60s music, but
Well, and this is one thing we're trying to do more. It's buying stuff that's newer that we wouldn't usually look at because we just don't usually buy newer stuff. So that's kind of a new zone we're going to focus on.
This one is by the Drive-By Truckers. This came out in 2003. Southern Rock Opera. They had pretty much all of their vinyl, I think, except maybe one. But Pizza Deliverance, Gangster Billy. I had the pleasure of seeing these guys. It's a great show. They're kind of like is Southern rock sort of revival band, but kind of Americana. A lot of styles all mixed into one, but. From what I can remember, this was kind of my favorite, so I decided to go with this because I had to, to spread out the cash, basically. One album that I did get, sort of kind of a psych rock band. This is one of those represses that kind of, I think EMI puts out, EMI Capital, kind of. I think maybe it's Sony, I think is who does it. I'm not sure offhand. But this is the band called Food, Forever is a Dream. So like I said, it's a repress. This was like only about, I think, $7 or so for this one. So it's pretty
on clear vinyl.
Yes, I did see that. Another band that I absolutely love, had the pleasure of seeing once. And I got to kind of meet all the guys that were in the band. Yeah, Sam was studying abroad at the time, and she missed it. But that is the Brian Jonestown Massacre. So I was picked up these. These are always really, really expensive, but for 30% off, I pulled the trigger. This one is the one that has servo and satellite on it. These kind of came out, I think, maybe about, 2 or 3 years ago, something like that. So way out of print now for the most part. That says right back 2009. And then also Just Like Kicking Jesus, which was another one. Just really cool stuff. So they had another one there that was, that's like the single off of the album, the Smoking Acid album. So I need to go out and I need it. Yeah, there's some pretty nice titles on there.
Minor notes I was reading.
Yes, kind of crass. Here's something cool. We were, and the last video definitely stirred up a lot of conversation, but this is a band, Freak Beat, is, these British psychedelic 60s band. That is The Action. Kind of their big hit is What I'll Keep Holding On, I think, is probably their most known track. So really, really cool stuff. This was very cheap. I was excited about that. I'm just going to show all what I have, and then you can choose. Okay. Here's one we've been looking for a while. My sister kind of turned me on to this a little while ago, so really nice to have it on vinyl. I think a couple of people have it. And then if you had the one with the Superman on the inside, that's the first pressing of this one, because they had to take it off for copyright reasons. But that's Sufjan Stevens' Come On Feel the Illinois, which he did basically 3 albums based on states. Maybe in 2, right? No, just 2. Greetings from Michigan, and then Illinois. So it's just really, really cool. Kind of a multi-instrumentalist, I think. Plays banjo basically, but this came out in 2005, and didn't leave my CD player for a while when I found it. So this one was just kind of for fun. So this is one of the ones Sam and I have kind of talked about. So decided to go with the greatest hits, but Green Day International Super Hits, which of course they're a band from our youth. So good stuff.
What's on there?
It's a ride through the band's catalog. Greatest hits from Dookie to Warning. So those Warning, I think, was my last album that I bought of theirs. Here's another band. This is an EP that they put out. I've been looking for their stuff, and I was talking to River about this one guy that I bought some records from. It was a online seller, and River was like, "Oh, good luck with that." Well, he was right. It didn't pan out, so I had to get a refund. But this is the International Noise Conspiracy. Bigger cages, longer chains. Basically sort of a punk / Swedish garage band, if you will, kind of in the vein of the Hives. This came out about 2003, so very cool stuff. Sam got Midlake. This album came out, I think, last year. This came out about, I think, last year, 2010, so 2 years ago at this point. But they're sort of a, what's the best way to think of describe them? Sort of like a modern psychedelic folk band, I guess you could kind of say.
It says Lush and Haunted on the sticker. Yeah, it's
yeah, so definitely some cool stuff for that. Anthony and the Johnsons. This is I Am a Bird Now. Who's that the cover of? That's Man Ray. Is that who that is?
Pardon?
Isn't that Man Ray that's on the cover?
I don't think so.
Who is that? That's an Andy Warhol photograph, I think.
I don't think so.
Okay. We'll consult the archives.
I think it's Candy Darling.
Candy Darling. That's who it is. That's who it is. You're right. You're right. So that's a famous. It's Candy Darling. That's who it is. That's, and had the ins with Andy Warhol, which I think, what was it today? Was it today that he...
Today is his 25-year death anniversary.
He was... I don't know if you'd say anniversary.
Yeah. Well, what else would you...
It is what it is. So there's that. And then... What else we got here?
This one is Maya.
MIA.
MIA. I just got her first 2 albums online this past week or so. Kind of a, I don't know, I guess a guilty pleasure. I don't listen to a lot of electronic stuff or, I guess cool and super hip stuff, but I really like her. I can't help but tap my foot and dance a little bit. So it's cool to have that.
That was a heck of a deal for that one.
And so Mark was texting me while I was at work today saying, "You're never going to believe what I got you. It's going to blow your mind." And I couldn't really think of what it might be. And I was doing some guessing before he showed me, and I got pretty darn close. This is Megapus, which I have never heard of this before. I guess this is a side project Devendra did a few years ago.
Devendra Banhart.
Sorry, I didn't know I needed to say his last name too.
For those who, yeah.
But it's very. We just listened to the morning side of it, and I can't show some of these.
Yeah,
photos. They're very crass.
You don't have to show all the photos.
But
cool stuff.
It's really cool.
So fans of Devendra Banhart. From the looks of it, though, it's pretty out of print. We went and we ripped this open, and then I always do the take a look at it on eBay to see how much it's going for.
I would have opened it.
Yeah, well, no, we would have opened it, but there was like a copy already going for like $50, so we got that for about 10. And then pretty much the cost of everything that I got with the discount, I ended up the total discount came to about $65. So what I did was I bought this, which so basically this was essentially free. So this came out for Record Store Day. Ballroom 23, I believe, is the handle. But he had showed a whole bunch of stuff from Light in the Attic. Definitely an awesome record label. They're based in Seattle. They kind of do Serge Gainsbourg, the reissue with Melody Nelson. They're also, I'm assuming they're still the home of the Black Angels. The Black Angels haven't released an album in about a year or two, but put out all that stuff. But totally cool. So this was kind of the cherry on top. It was kind of like, I spent all this money, so this is the discount I'm getting, so I'm just going to go ahead and wipe it all out with this. So so it's cool. So it's kind of, supporting those guys for one last time. A lot of these records we could have bought online, but kind of like, Sam, we were talking on the phone. It's like, this is kind of a once in a lifetime thing. I think the last time was there used to be a chain called National Record Mart around here that went out of business in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002, I think. And that was kind of the last time I've had some major scores. So this time it was nothing but vinyl. So great stuff. So we'll see y'all. So thanks for joining us on this fantastic vinyl finds. And have a great weekend.
Bye, guys.